The last Canadian man to win a World Swimming Championship, 2007 in Melbourne, Australia. Mission, British Columbia's Brent Hayden in the 100-meter freestyle in a rare tie with Filippo Magnini of Italy. Hey, Brent, take us back to that day and the energy and excitement you felt before the race.
Oh man, I wish I could say it felt like excitement. I think I was just feeling pure dread. I had been feeling like the most extreme kind of fear all day going into that final. It's a story that I tell a lot. My grandfather had passed away just a few days before, and before I hopped on that plane, and I saw him on his hospital bed. It was the last time I saw him. The last thing I ever told him was I was going to the World Championships and I was going to win him a medal. So I had that building up that moment. So I was just like, my heart was pounding through my chest all day, like jumping out of my rib cage. So I just remember waiting to hear my name to walk out on the pool deck, and my heart was just pounding. My hands and my feet were numb. My mouth was dry. Like I was so scared going into that. But then I just reminded myself of why am I doing this, and just I actually don't remember much after the starter went until about the last like 15 meters, and I got my hand on the wall.
And you got your hand on the wall. I remember the reaction when you came out. Rod Laver Stadium was packed that day. You became the first Canadian world champion in swimming since Victor Davis in 1986. How much did that victory mean, Brent?
I don't know if what meant more, winning the gold or just fulfilling that promise. But there was a moment when I touched the wall and I turned around and looked at the board. My eyesight, I normally wear glasses, and the board's at the other end of the pool. And for a split moment, I thought I was actually seventh, because I saw Filippo Magnini, because he's in the lane next to me in lane 5. He's celebrating. And so I thought, I realized he won first. I thought I was seventh. I squinted a little harder. Then I realized that, we actually tied for first place. So that's when you see like the big celebration, throw my arms up in the air. But yeah, I don't know if that moment would have necessarily felt any better if I didn't have such a overpowering purpose to succeed.
Everybody talks at these World Championships, Brent, about the Canadian women's team, about Summer McIntosh and Maggie McNeil and Kylie Maas and Penny Oleksiak, who's not there. But the talk is about the women. Do you see potential for this Canadian men's team at the World Aquatics Championships in Fukuoka?
Oh, definitely. I mean, we have to talk about Josh Liendo, right? Some of the, he's been amazing this past season. I think it was like fastest NC2A ever in, was it the 100 fly, 100 free? I should have checked my notes before hopping on here, but like he's just been having an amazing season. And I know, there are some big names in the 100 fly that aren't going to be there. We don't have Kayla Dressel, we don't have Chad Leclos, but that's just going to be opening up the doors for other swimmers to kind of step up. And I think it's going to be a huge opportunity for Josh. I mean, we've also got, bunch of other strong swimmers on the men's team. I'm really curious to see what our men's relay does, because now I think that's one of the first opportunities we're going to have to see Ilya Karun, stepping on the block. So imagine we're going to see Josh and Ruslan Gaziev and possibly Ilya Karun on that 4x1. I'm not sure who they'd be picking for the fourth person yet, so it's going to be pretty exciting.
Yeah, I was going to talk about that 4x100 free, because at the Olympics in Tokyo, you missed the medal by 3/100ths of a second. And Liendo is back in that foursome. And that's really a prestige event, something that Canadian men really covet, isn't it? The 4x100 free medal.
Yeah, it's the biggest relay event, I think. I mean, obviously the women's 4x100 free as well, because the 100-meter freestyle has always kind of been that known as that blue ribbon event in the pool. And now you're just doing it with 4 people in the lanes. And I still remember I think the best moment I ever saw in the 4x100 freestyle was probably at the 2004 Olympics, when No one was expecting the South Africans, and they came out and they won the gold medal. And that was actually a moment that I used in Tokyo when, nobody was expecting us to even be in the final. And there we were in the final, and we knew that we had a shot to win a medal. So that was a moment that I shared with those guys. Of course, there's always the legendary anchor swim by Jason Lezak in the 2008 Olympic Games when he came back to beat the French. So there are some big stories seem to come out of that 4x1 free relay.
I want to talk a little bit more about Josh Liendo. He's a young swimmer. He's already done a lot, won a couple of medals at last year's World Championships in the 100 fly and the 100 free. How much potential do you think he has, Brent, to perhaps win the 100 fly at the World Championships? And in the 100 free, could he get close to your national record?
I mean, I would like to see him break my national record. It's been up there way too long. I think Josh is the guy that's going to do it. Whether he does it here or later, I think that'll just be that'll be determined soon. But I mean, we can't put any limitations on what this guy can achieve.
Hey, Brent, it's always great to speak with you. Thanks very much for doing this.
Yeah, thanks, Scott.